Michael, what have you guys done this week to address the weekend's performance?
We'll review the game like we do every week and really focus in on some ball use stuff all over the field really. So how we're getting out of our back half, how we're getting it, delivering it to our forwards. We thought there was patches in the game where there was some good ball movement, but what really let us down was turnovers and how we delivered it into our front half and not giving our forwards a chance, not kicking to their advantage. So we focused heavily on that on Monday.
You said after the game that fitness wasn't the issue, in your opinion, that it was more of a mental thing. What do you mean by that, and how have you addressed that?
What I mean by that is that all the numbers that we've done over pre-season and our testing results show us that we've fitter than this time last year. The game time is higher in games because we've added an extra 2 minutes to quarters. So the GPS numbers are telling us that we're running the games out well. But there's just little things in our game that we can do to save some energy and look like we are fitter, if that's what we want to look like. But I think the fitness thing doesn't come into the equation for me.
Bella, what about for you? Does it feel like a mental thing then?
Yeah, definitely at times. I think the mental side of having an extra couple of minutes or whatever it is as well on the weekend, it was pretty hot conditions to what we've been used to throughout this winter. But I think at times when you're behind, and same with the scoreboard, and Carlton's spread in their tackling was really good, it was definitely more of a mental thing for us.
It's not changing, so what do you guys do to be able to get on top of that, I suppose?
Yeah, we need to figure out a way to, I guess, regroup and not start to turn on each other, and I think we've done a really good job of that this week in terms of our preparation leading into the weekend with the Swans, and we'll do more of that. We got some key matchups, and I guess it's staying united as a group together and not trying to break that synergy. It's only round 3, like we talk about. Yes, it feels like a bit of a slump at the moment, but it's so early on in the season, and most of the time you forget the beginning of the season if the end goes well.
You said turn on each other. What do you mean by that?
Turn on each other, I just mean in terms of individuals trying to go and play their own game. It's a team sport. We talk about our team defence and our ball movement and all that kind of stuff. I think when that starts to break down, I'm not saying that it has, but when it does, you kind of show even worse results, and your unity starts to break. And I think the culture that we have is really, really good, and we haven't shown any cracks of that at all. So I think that's one thing that we're really proud of as a group, and we'll just keep working towards that. Yeah,
and I'm going to jump in there and just be really clear that hasn't happened. There's no fracturing of our group whatsoever. Everyone's willing to work through a bit of a slump, and that's where we're at the moment. So hopefully it won't be written in that way, because that's not the way it is at the moment. And the analogy I used to the players the other day is that you've got to work hard and work through this. And it's like an opening batter in cricket. If you keep getting out the same way and for no runs, you're going to go and face a lot more balls in the nets, and you're going to improve by getting the work done. And that's exactly what our group's committed to doing.
Michael, what changed at the beginning of that second quarter for Carlton to really get on a roll? It's just 2 points the difference at quarter time. Seemed to be a tight contest, but those first 10 minutes or so really got on a run. What changed, do you think?
Yeah, I think Moody started thumping it forward a fair bit. Our pressure dropped off as well, so our pressure early in the game was really good. Really pleased with that. Centre clearance wasn't going our way. Losing the ball out there, and then the ball living inside the opposition front half. And then there was a couple of iffy decisions that went their way as well.
Hit-outs have been an issue, and you've got Ali Morford this week for Sydney. Do you bring back Lucky?
If she's fit. So everyone thought she was fit and available to play last week, where she actually had a back injury. So she tried her best to have a run around in a scrimmage, and she lasted a quarter. So we're still waiting on whether she's available to play this week. But we're thinking about, if she's available, what that might look like. Yeah.
And if she isn't available, how do you rectify that differential in hit-outs and actually be competitive at the source? I mean, maybe that's one for you, Bella.
Yeah, I'll jump in quick. I think our rucks are up against a really quality young player, but we've got to give them strategies about things that they can potentially do with their ruck work and their craft, about how to nullify someone like that. So maybe it was a good thing that our young rucks got exposed to that last week coming up against Morford, because she is going to be doing something similar on the weekend. So education, ruck craft, keep working with the girls.
And Bella, how does the midfield group support them and also sort of remain in the contest?
Yeah, I think it's using better strategies around how we go with their rock dominance, and it's probably good for Wack and Amy. They could potentially be someone like an Ali Morford. Like, they've got the same kind of within them. Wack's like an extra midfielder. She can be just like that. So if she can, I guess, stay with a Morford around the ground, it'd be really good for us. And in terms of us as a midfield group, we made a lot of really dumb mistakes in terms of trying to own the outside with Moody, and we didn't react to that quick enough that we should have. So I think it's a great opportunity this weekend. If Ali's going to do the exact same thing, then we can get used to that.
Has there been any soul searching within the group after two fairly average performances?
I mean, it depends what you mean by soul searching. I think what I said before in terms of regrouping and I guess trying to find out why we play. And I mean, if we're being completely honest, it's not like we haven't been here before. It's been pretty the standard over the last couple of years. So for us, it's continuing to grind, and there may be things that we address after the season. But right now, we've got to focus on what our strength is as a group, and within our lines, what our strength is, and keep pushing with that.
Michael, on the mental side, you mentioned earlier, obviously, like Bella just mentioned, it has been a bit of a rough time for the program over the past few years. Do those losses the group has suffered impact such a young playing group, do you think?
Well, I hope they do. I hope they impact. I hope they hurt, because if they don't, well, we're not going to move forward. So I think at this level of competition, we're not in junior football, and losses, you don't go and carry on with your mates after that. They got to hurt and they got to mean something, and you got to get back on the horse and work your way through it. And as I said before, we're in a little bit of a rut at the moment, but the only way to get through that is work, and work really hard, and our group's committed to doing that.
And all the running and the data and everything, like you said, suggested you're fitter than you were at this point last year. What about on the field and your game movement and ball movement? Do you feel like you're ahead comparatively at this point last season?
I think that we've seen some good stuff, but we've also seen some really bad stuff as well. And I think with the group that we have, and I think we had 9 players under 20 on the weekend play, you're going to have ebbs and flows, and we're clearly in an ebb at the moment. So, and as I keep saying, we're committed to working through that. And doing the best we possibly can. So I think we'll see a turn, just when that will turn. So we're hoping it turns this week when we run out against Sydney. So, but I can just keep saying that we're really committed to turning it around, and the girls are committed to working their bums off to do what they can without cooking themselves, and being physically fit and ready to go on Sunday.
There was some agility training this morning. What's that about? Is that new?
No.
What was there? Are you changing anything this week at training? There seemed to be something different going on.
No, that was just Wes doing his warm up, which has, I think, been the same for the pre-season and training. From what I see, I don't think it was new at all. What
are the challenges that Sydney present this weekend?
That Sydney present? I think they've got a good core midfield group. Malloy going through there as well. Obviously got dominant ruck. So, and their forwards have been hitting the scoreboard in early games. I know it didn't go their way on the weekend, but really good, talented young group of players. So we're going to be tested through the middle part of the ground, which, as I said, with our group, we've gone up and down a bit in that area. And last week was a little bit of a rise from what we delivered the week before, but we've got to be on our game in the midfield, and it's going to be a key battle to the outcome of this game.
Michael, next 3 weeks, you're up against teams around the same position as you guys on the table. I know, obviously, 1 week at a time, but are you looking at the next 3 weeks as a chance to, potentially launch the season again?
Oh, we're looking to get as good as we can, as quick as we can. So I haven't even thought too much about the following week. I know it's a short week for us. Port Adelaide on Friday night, but we need to turn things around internally and start doing the things we know we can, and then the results will take care of themselves.
Obviously, with the slow start to the season, given it is only round 3, do the players and, you know, football department feel under pressure to turn things around?
I wouldn't say under pressure. I think we know where we're at. We know what we've got to do, and everyone's committed to doing it.